Bruce, how did you decide to build a mini golf course?
Well, I think I had a practical side of me. I bought this land to do landscape sculptures, and it somehow came to me that functional landscape sculptures could be made into mini golf fine art. And I just took it from there. I built a couple of examples and had to get a conditional use permit from the city. And I said if I couldn't correct any problems, I wouldn't do it. But the community ended up really liking it, and for them to entertain their guests, whatever, they come out here.
How many holes are in your golf course?
I have 14 holes, and thought I would be making more, but I kind of worked into the sculpture park, so I worked on the sculpture park more than adding more mini golf holes. Just kind of stop there, until another idea comes. I'll keep it going at that.
Who designed the course and all of the holes?
Well, I designed all the golf holes, and we have one golf hole where you have to jump the river, and there's a giant rock, like a pool ball shot. You can bounce your ball off the rock. But if you notice, that rock is all kind of polished. It was the top of the stone mountain that you get the rocks from in St. Cloud, and it was polished by the glacier. But on our last hole, we have gently down the stream, which is your ball goes into the river and winds all around, and that's just simple physics that the water will push the ball.
How did you get inspired to create each hole?
I get inspired from my previous, and it just kind of leads to another idea. Sometimes I surprise myself, where did this idea come from? I saw a boat for sale on the side of the road, and that guy repairs boats. He showed me this giant Chris Craft Roamer steel hull boat, which became our hole number 8. I turned the boat upside down and cut out a bunch of holes and put in this recycled eyeglass lens material and made that into a unique looking hole.
Now, who manages the course?
I have one full-time, cleans off the greens and helps cut grass and take care of the animals, and another almost full-time person who schedules the clubhouse for kids to, take the money and hand out the clubs, and he helps detail, maintenance and things.
How many people work here?
Oh, there's during the summer, there's 4 of us every day, whether it's maintenance or a new project or, fixing some cobblestones.
How do you advertise?
In the very beginning, we tried some advertising, but it's not that effective. And so we did a good job, and people just talked about us on social media, and that's the way the word got out. And we did get a few other show features, and people learn about us that way.
So, have you had any famous people come to play here too?
Well, we had some Thailand monks in their full, garb, and there's a temple. Some of them were playing mini golf. We had Carly Simon's son-in-law, and that was an interesting meeting because he's an expert on dyslexic, and he has a TED Talk, which I didn't even know about then, but he introduced me to TED Talks, and I'm dyslexic, so that's kind of how I developed all my creativity. In school, I had a hard time reading, but I think I just made me go right into art and developed art. And back then, they kind of said it was a learning disability, but dyslexia isn't a learning disability. I think it's just a whole different way of thinking, and there's some very famous people, Einstein and Picasso, and I can name a bunch, but Steve Jobs are all dyslexic.
So, has your unique golf course and sculpture garden received some unusual publicity?
Yeah, there's been local TV shows, and they ended up playing nationally on their broadcast. At the end of the news series, they have a positive news story. So, we played nationally, and I was getting calls from all over the country, a few calls.
So, What hours are you open?
We start our season when the weather permits in mid-April and go to the very end of October and open at 9:30 in the morning till sundown or 9 o'clock at night, whichever's earlier, depending on the time of year.
Are there any age restrictions for people that can come?
Oh, no age restrictions, We have a golf cart in case someone needs assistance because there's a lot of grounds to cover. If they want to view the sculpture park, they can use our golf cart, and all kids come and feed the goats. We sell goat chow, and even old people like to feed the goats, or I'm surprised.
Do you sell the sculptures that are here too?
Oh, some of the artists have work for sale, but I don't sell anything here. It's kind of set up just in a way that it would leave a gap if I sold something. So, and I earlier in my years sold a lot of artwork, and that's not my goal. I'm actually looking for the best art I can find, and if it's a good piece, I just want to add it to the collection. And it's nice to give the Minnesota artists a venue to show their work, because over 50 of the sculptures are Minnesota artists.
So, what are your plans for the future of the golf course or the sculpture gardens?
Well, I got to mow the grass today, but continue to look for good work and work on the shelter buildings for maybe being open in the winter, and there's maintenance, and I just enjoy what I do, and sometimes the ideas come because I find something, and there's no real plan until it inspires me to do it.